Devil May Cry 5 is finally available on a Nintendo console 7 years after it first released on the PlayStation 4. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the game. You're going to see some side-by-sides and a frame rate analysis. Is DMC5 on Nintendo Switch 2 worth your money? Or is this entire port just a piece of dead weight like Nero?
Bastard called me dead weight, but he come all this way for nothing.
Hey, I'm not the one who said it. Dante did, so take it up with him. Devil May Cry 5 is considered by many to be the absolute pinnacle of the hack-and-slash character action game genre. When it released originally in 2019, it was a bombastic return for a franchise that had been asleep for over a decade. Before DMC5, Devil May Cry 4 was released in 2008 to lukewarm reviews, and a few years after that, in 2013, Capcom decided to reboot the series with a westernized version of Devil May Cry, which honestly I played it a few years ago and I actually enjoyed it. However, the overall DMC fandom was not amused and they trashed the game like no one's business. But at least it made for some pretty epic memes.
Te voy a cancelar, cabrón.
Dante, it really is you.
Espera, ¿quién dices que eres?
It can be said that it was a good decision for Capcom to leave this reboot in the dust, because what happened the last time a major Japanese game company decided to leave their Japanese roots behind and embrace Western game development culture? Yeah, nobody wants that. Nobody wants Nico looking like this. And speaking of Nico... But after the 2013 reboot failed to do the numbers that Capcom wanted, they went back into the kitchen and started cooking what eventually would become Devil May Cry 5, the series' most popular entry and the bar that every other hack-and-slash game needs to aim for. I was hoping Bayonetta 3 would reach that bar, but it only just barely fell short, and that's really just because the Switch hardware was too weak, but that's a discussion for another day. This brings us to the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Devil May Cry 5. In handheld mode, this game can reach up to 120 frames per second. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting that. It completely blows the PlayStation 4 version out of the water, even just in portable mode, which is insane when you think about it. If you have a TV with a 120Hz refresh rate, then you can get this frame rate in docked mode as well. But if you're just a lowly peasant like me with a regular HD TV, then you're just gonna have to settle for a perfect 60 frames per second.
Huh?
Okay, maybe it's not perfect, but it's pretty perfect. As you can see, in high action segments, the frame rate remains fairly steady throughout with very tiny drops which you wouldn't even notice without this graph. The game is a masterclass in sound design as well. The opening segment where you meet Nico while Nero makes short work of a bunch of ant enemies still does not fail to impress 7 years later. And when it comes to the graphics, I am of the opinion that we peaked with the PlayStation 4. Consoles nowadays are really just adding things that are nice, but not really console selling nice. You know, nowadays the biggest improvements that you really see when it comes to visuals and games is shiny puddles? Really? So Devil May Cry 5, even just taking the original PlayStation version, is still a beautiful game in 2026. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition looks pretty much exactly like the PlayStation 4 version, except it performs way better, even in handheld mode. But a rock solid frame rate doesn't mean anything if the game itself is not fun to play. Luckily, Devil May Cry 5 features what might be the best combat sandbox ever created. You're not just mashing buttons, you're building a combo masterpiece, and the game gives you 3 completely different ways to do it. You have 3 playable characters, 4 if you count Virgil, and I don't see why you wouldn't count Virgil. He was originally actually not playable back when the game first released and was later added as DLC. In the Switch 2 edition, because Nintendo are the best, we get the best, so we get Virgil day 1. 7 years later, but it is still true that we got Virgil day 1 and PlayStation and Xbox didn't. So Nintendo wins again. So for the playable characters, you have Nero, and I know Dante calls him Deadweight, but Nero is actually really fun to play, and he does hold his own weight. He's the typical hack and slash protagonist. You can string together different slashing mechanics together to build massive combos. V is the second playable character, and he's sort of similar to Bayonetta 3's kaiju mechanic because he's not quite as powerful as Dante or Nero, but he fights by controlling his demon partners, a panther, a chicken, and a big gorilla thing. Then there's the series' main character, Dante, and Virgil as well. Another massive win for the Nintendo Switch 2 version of DMC5 is the loading screens. On the PS4, you had enough time to go make a sandwich between missions, but on the Switch 2, it's practically instant. Going from a cold boot to juggling demons in handheld mode in a matter of seconds feels like Shang Tsung had a hand in this game's development. So is this game worth your money?
What kind of stupid question is that?
Now let's talk about the price. Capcom loves a good port, but they also love charging a premium for them. If you've already played DMC5 on PS4, PS5, or PC, paying full price just to play it on the go might be a tough pill to swallow, but if you've never experienced this masterpiece, or if you're a handheld only gamer, the value proposition changes completely. So to answer the ultimate question, is Devil May Cry 5 on the Nintendo Switch 2 worth your money? Or is it just a piece of dead weight like Nero? Honestly, it's the exact opposite. Capcom absolutely cooked with this port. Seeing a game of this caliber run at a buttery smooth 60 to 120 frames per second on a handheld console proves that the Switch 2 is the real deal. This is a definitive must buy, and the cherry on top, right now this game is $30 instead of $40. That's right, it's already on sale and the sale is gonna go for a little while longer, so get it while it's still this price. Let me know down in the comments, are you gonna be picking up this masterpiece for your Nintendo Switch 2, or are you a Gay Station fanboy? I'm SwitchPlayed done. Oh my lord, that is the most violent thing I've ever seen. Alright, we got it. I think he's dead. Okay, I've been playing as V for a while. I forgot how to play as Nero. Oh, sh. Oh my lord. Oh yeah, that's what I gotta do. Nah. Whoa. Holy f. Was that an attack or did he collapse? Oh, I think I destroyed that. Oh, the heart. Or not the heart, but whatever this fucking thing is. In case you didn't know, and you wouldn't know because I never uploaded it, but I did actually spend about 2 hours recording, and I completely screwed up the recording. So I can't use it.